Hello, my name is Meaganmadson and I am a divine channel. This is going to be one of my most important videos to date. This is going to act as a declaration so that it is very clear what this channel is about, what my divine channel is about, what my mission is, and why I do what I do. So there's no confusion. As I'm sure many of you know, with the twin flame label, there is a lot of distortion. There's a lot of inversion. And I want to be very clear that labels are not important. However, many people use the label of twin flame to describe something, and it's not the same thing. I could change the name and I could start talking about the thing I'm here to teach on, divinely guided, divinely ordained, but then you may not know what I'm talking about, right? So it's not about getting into frustration or anger about the name or trying to control it. It's about being very clear in what this channel is, what I am here to teach on, what I've been initiated into. I did not choose this. I did not seek this. I did not want to teach on twin flames. In fact, I was a spiritual coach and teacher before being initiated by my twin flame. And my business was doing well. But it wasn't until Spirit started pushing me and guiding me to speak on twin flames that I stepped into my fullest, highest potential timeline, where I fully became sovereign, where I fully experienced what everybody talks about when they talk about enlightenment, when they talk about coming into 100% neutrality, coming into a balanced inner masculine and a balanced inner feminine. And that is how I was able to get on mission to start helping and serving the collective of those that were initiated into the same path, that were ready. So many believe that they have met their twin flame. And the thing about the concept, the idea, when you hear the word twin flame, you remember, your soul knows. It's a remembering. I am one of the teachers that does believe we all have a twin flame, which is why it's such a remembrance. And that's one of those beliefs I have, that I'm open to that one being different. But I have this strong feeling, this strong gut feeling that Spirit has neither confirmed nor denied, that we all understand this concept. We all understand the purpose of the twin flame. You know, this was something that there was no confusion or distortion on in our past incarnations. So when we hear it, there's a mysticism that comes. There's a remembrance, right? A soul connection, which is probably why we use it so much, probably why some people put it on pedestals and some people condemn it, right? It's a very polarizing term. You either feel this way or you feel that way. But I want to be very clear that the twin flame journey is about spirituality. It's about walking the path of the divine. It's about being a humble servant of the divine. It is about mission work. It is about becoming the highest version of self that you never thought possible, that you never in a million years believed that you could step into that amount of sovereignty, that you could hold that amount of energy, that you could go through the deepest, darkest nights of the soul and still come out with a high vibration. I want to be very clear that the deepest, darkest nights of the soul are not because the relationship is abusive. They are not because this person is belittling you, stealing from you, hurting you, verbally abusing you, that this person is codependent with you, attached to you. The twin flame connection is not codependent. The twin flame connection allows space, distance, and growth for the two people to evolve into their highest potential timeline. The twin flame is there to get you to step onto the path. But I want to be really clear. When you manifest your twin flame, you have done some spiritual work. Whether you are conscious of it or not, you have consciously made a choice that you are ready for more, that you are ready to release the old timelines, the old version of yourself. So you cannot manifest your twin flame when you are in a toxic sort of vibration, when you are very codependent. Let's say you have addiction issues. Let's say that you are the type that in your relationships, you either feel like you can't breathe if they're not around, right? This really sort of addictive quality to love, that is not your twin flame. The twin flame is non-abusive. And this is such a misconception. Now, I'm not going to go into this here, but when many of us are very triggered by our twin flame, because it's pulling out all of our deepest, darkest shadows, it's pulling out all the things within us that are not aligned with love. Anything within us that is not our true divine nature is going to come out in the process of knowing this person. But guess what? With a twin flame, you don't even have to be interacting in the 3D. You do not have to be in contact. You do not have to be living together. You do not have to be in a normal relationship for your triggers and everything to come up to the surface to be purified and transmuted. This can happen in separation. And for almost every twin flame, the twin flames that I'm addressing here, you can keep your label and talk about something else if you want, but the twin flames I'm addressing here, there is a period of separation. It is not 0 to 100 right away. It might be 0 to 100 and that ends abruptly, because the divine will not allow these connections to become toxic or karmic. So the second that it starts to become a back and forth battle, and you all know what I mean, I'm pretty sure you know what I mean here. The second that that happens, there is a tower type of moment. There is a pulling the rug out from underneath you moment for separation, because the divine does not allow these connections to sink to the low vibration that we have on this planet of relationships. Now, for those of you that believe you've met your twin flame, but everything I've been describing is what your experience was, right? You may have felt like this person's narcissistic. You may have felt very codependent. You guys may have been very inseparable. You may have felt like very needy, like you're going to die, like you can't breathe when they're gone. You know, there could have been a lot of volatility, a lot of yelling, a lot of screaming. That doesn't mean that that relationship is not divine. It doesn't mean that. And that relationship could even be a fractal of your twin flame, a volunteer soul that you contracted before your incarnation to come in and teach you and prepare you for what's coming, which could be meeting your true twin flame. It could also be meeting a high level soulmate that they wanted you to be emotionally, mentally prepared and ready for, so that you didn't sabotage that beautiful connection that's coming. So I myself have experienced what the kids call a false twin flame, which I believed was my twin flame. He told me he was my twin flame. This was the first person to introduce me to synchronicities, numbers, 1111, all of it, right? It felt very much out of my control, meaning it felt like the divine wanted it to happen. It felt like really toxic. There was addiction, there was codependency, there was me feeling like I'm going to die, there was suicidal stuff coming in. There was so much darkness beyond, but I was still unbelievably in love with this person. Now, this is something that is very hard to explain to someone that has not been initiated by a true twin flame, but I'm going to attempt to share it here. What I had for that person was absolute love. I was in love with that person. I never wanted any harm to come to that person. I wanted the best for them, but it wasn't unconditional love. Now, limitless love, infinite love, I don't know. You can label it whatever you want, because I know people get really hung up on labels. It wasn't the same as what I feel for my true twin flame. My true twin flame, the feeling that I have for this person, it's infinite. It's bottomless. There is no limit. This person could be gone from my life for multiple incarnations and lifetimes, and there will be no dwindle of that love. In fact, it will grow stronger and stronger and stronger. It never dies. The depth, the passion, the strength of the love, you actually fall more and more and more in love with them, regardless of what is going on the circumstance. And it's not the passionate love. It's not the type of love where you want to like die if they're gone. It's healthy, it's stable, it's grounded. Yes, both of you may be enacting your shadow self. You may get triggered, but even through those triggers, there's respect. there is a foundation of respect and care because you want the best for your twin flame. You want the best, even when you are being your shadow self, even when you are in your darkest, lowest point, you still are thinking of them. You are still putting them first, because guess what? When you put them first, you're putting yourself first. That is the difference. A false twin flame, the lesson is for you to put yourself first. But you notice when you put yourself first, that person freaks out. That person has a temper tantrum. That person tries to pull you back. That is a karmic. That is not the same thing as your twin. And the lesson is still the same, right? It's deepening and deepening your love, your self-worth, your inner knowing, your remembrance of who you truly are as a divine soul. So self-worth was a very similar theme that you're learning, but the twin flame shows you how incredible you are through the mirror. They're holding up the mirror and they're saying, you are this divine, powerful master. And you're probably on the other end when you first meet them saying, absolutely not. How dare you? I can't trust you now, right? I don't trust you because you're telling me how amazing I am. And I don't believe that. That's what causes the separation. The separation is not caused by toxicity. The separation is not caused by pain. Now, I don't want to discredit that experience that people have. It's a very necessary experience. And guess what? If you've been through an abusive relationship like that, or even just a toxic relationship like what I'm describing, that was part of your mission. It's divine. It's ordained. I can't even tell you how many relationships I've had like that. Toxic, crazy making, abusive, you name it. I've been through them all. And it's because it's part of my mission to be a teacher. I never knew I was going to meet my twin flame. I never knew I'd be a twin flame teacher. I didn't know how connected it all was. I didn't know that I had to experience that to know what the true twin flame is. You have to experience what you have to experience what love is not in order to know what love is. Because even though I was madly in love with that person, there was a selfishness in it. It was a need. It was a desire. I need this. The twin flame is, I love you so much. It's the closest I could describe it to is being a parent, right? The way that you feel about your child, like they could murder somebody, God forbid, but they could do the most horrible, heinous thing out in the world, and you couldn't reject them, right? You could not love them any less. I'm sure your heart would be broken. I'm sure you would have a lot of questions, and it would be a tough human experience, but you could not love them any less. That's as close as I can get to describing the type of love that is in a true twin flame connection. And this is not meant to be from a good, bad, worse place. Please hear this. This is not, oh, you've only had a false twin flame. Well, that's not good enough. And that's part of the distortion out there with the twin flame. When you are a true twin flame, you don't wish that on anybody. You don't wish it on anybody. You truly don't. I think about this all the time. Would I want my children to be a twin flame? And I think, if that is their destiny, I will support it. I will hold space for it and I will love it. But I almost would wish that they would have a very high level soulmate versus the twin flame. And I share that just so you understand that this is not a romantic, sweet, loving, happily ever after. That is a part of it. But that is like the icing on the cake, because the amount of soul work that you have to go through, the changes you have to make in your life. Every twin flame that I work with has had to let go of almost every single thing in their life that they had prior to the twin flame, because the twin flame showed them that it wasn't in their true highest alignment. Everything that they tried to attain from the ego has to go. And most people don't want to live that way. Most people don't need to live that way. That's not part of the soul incarnation that you chose. And that's okay. Most people are not here to share a mission. It's why they say twin flames are so rare. And I don't necessarily know if twin flames are so rare, as it's rare to meet your twin flame in this lifetime. It's rare to have a mission together in this lifetime, a mission of having children together, a mission of teaching together, a mission of, building, having property and feeding the community with, locally grown food, right? Whatever it is, twin flames have all these different missions, but It's always, always about the mission. And you can only start working on the mission once you've healed yourself. So this person comes in, they're a mirror. They show you all the places you've denied love, all the places you are acting from lower consciousness that is not your true alignment. And you can't work on it together. In a high soulmate relationship, you can work on it together, right? It's one of the most beautiful things about relationship. That's part of what was so hard for me in this twin flame connection was like, I want to work on this with you. But Spirit's like, no, that's not what's meant to happen, because I don't want the two of you to create karma with one another, right? And that can be done through resentment. It can be done through lashing out. You know, this is a personal share, but I've never had a fight with my twin flame, ever. We've been frustrated. We've had strong words with each other, but we've never fought with each other. And I am a very fiery Jewish woman. I've fought with every single partner. I grew up in a household of screaming and yelling. I've fought with everybody. I never fought with my twin flame. That's just to give you a bit of the context of the difference. And that's part of how you know it's different. Another thing that's really interesting is when you meet the twin flame, it's calm, it's steady. It is not this rush of emotions. It's not this crazy, like, I need to have you. It is this like, oh, there you are. And it's not like, oh, I've been looking for you. I've been searching for you. It's just like, oh, there you are. Okay, great. And you fall in as if you're meeting back up with a friend that you haven't seen in 100 years, right? And you just pick up right where you left off. The passion and the desire and the sexuality of the twin flames is incredibly strong. It's incredibly strong, but it's not consuming. It doesn't burn you up. Okay. And that's probably, I don't want to have that in this video, but that's a whole topic on its own, where people get very confused by the idea. And there's a lot of distortion in the field. And I want to be very clear when I'm referring to twin flames, when I share the downloads, when I talk about my experience, when I do readings, all of that, this is what I'm talking about. Okay, so you can know if you're aligned to me through the codes I'm holding in this transmission, through what I'm sharing here. You can know if this is what you're experiencing, right? And so what I'm doing is I'm helping divine masculines and divine feminines come into their wholeness, come into their sovereignty. And the beautiful thing about that is when they come into their sovereignty, so does their twin. When they both come into their sovereignty, they magnetize to each other. So it's not about union. It's not about trying to work hard to get to union. It's not about trying to work hard to, it's not relationship coaching. Many twin flames are masters and experts at relationships because of this connection and their past relationships that led them to this connection. So relationship coaching is probably going to be the mission for many twin flames, to support others. And they don't have to be in twin flame connections. Here's the other piece I want to share. You don't have to be a twin flame to gain understanding and wisdom from somebody who is. You don't have to be a twin flame to prescribe to the transmissions, the shares, everything I do, because there is codes within it that is going to help you in any relationship in your entire life, because twin flames hold the vibration of infinite, abundant, non-conditional love. And that is needed in every relationship. And when we learn how to do it, when we learn how to hold that frequency on this planet, we share it with everyone. We are all one. That's one of the biggest initiations that twin flames go to experience is the heart opening, where you are in love with the entire planet. You are in love with that flower. You are in love with that leaf. You are in love with that rock. You are in love with that stranger who is being a jerk in the parking lot, right? You are in love with everybody. You see your twin, which is actually yourself, which is actually the divine, which is actually God. You see them in everyone. You have awakened to the fact that you are divine. You are God's source flowing through you. You are an expression of it. And you see it in your twin first. And then you have to learn to see it in yourself. right? It's easier to see it in this other person that you just think is perfect and beautiful. And that's where the pedestaling comes with twin flames. That's where people get twin flames confused with toxic karmic things. It's because you're in the presence of the divine when you are with one another. And that feeling is unlike anything you've ever experienced before. It's not this obsession. It's not toxic. It's you are with the divine. And once you learn that you are that, everything you saw, everything you projected onto that person, everything you felt there is you, that's when you step into the deepest amount of wholeness. And then it doesn't even matter what happens with your twin flame. You're not manifesting, you're not calling it towards you, you're not doing anything. You are just loving this person in their wholeness. You are loving yourself so deeply that you're able to love them and love everyone else from that place. And that is when union magnetizes, manifests. And I'm not a twin flame that believes, oh no, it's just an experience. It's just a spiritual lesson. It's not romantic. You can have many twin flames. No, all of that is false for what I'm talking about. If you want to believe those things, then I would say for sure. And maybe you can call it twin flame as well, but that's not what you're going to get here on this channel or from me. There's one twin flame because it is, yes, we have fractals. We have fragments of our soul. There's the oversoul, and we share with many other souls, right? We're fractals of that. Beautiful. But the other half of our soul, the split of the soul and the masculine and the feminine, there's just one. There's just one. We're not incomplete without them. We are complete without them. But with them, we are divine. That's one of those spiritual paradoxes that people get really, really caught up in. So I'm not saying neither are true, both are true. Twin flames are here to serve humanity. They are volunteer souls. They have chosen to come to serve. They know that in order to do that, that they have to raise their vibration and step onto their highest timeline. Any of you who have had these relationships where you felt like you've met many different twin flames, where you've had these powerful spiritual interactions, and you've, blasted off into space with this person, and you've had like 5D experiences, telepathic, all that stuff. This is definitely a soul that you were meant to connect with. And they may have taught you so much and opened you up onto the spiritual path. And that's beautiful. And that's divine. And there's nothing that, everything I'm saying does not discredit that. It's not this or that. It all can be true. It all can be divine. And it's just really important for that clarity to come through, for it to be discerned, it to be distinguished as different things. Okay. The saddest thing in the world is twin flames not being able to step onto their highest timeline and come together because of 3D interference, because of distortion, because of inversion, because of programs. And believe it or not, every time somebody spreads misinformation about twin flames, that's a program that somebody is taking on. And then when they meet their true twin flame, or maybe they've been in connection with their true twin flame, they're confused. They're stuck in their head. They're second guessing. They're doubting. That is why teachers like myself are initiated and asked to come be public. I would never have guessed I would be public on this. Would never want to. This was not my desire, but I'm a humble servant and I follow what the divine says. But this is the initiation, right? You get out of your own way. You separate from your ego to do the mission. Okay. So if you are a twin flame, then you are doing that in some aspect of your life. Something that you don't necessarily want to do, but you're doing it anyways, because you know it's your mission. Okay. Okay. I'm just seeing if they want me to say anything else. There's no discrediting. It's not this or that. I just want to be really clear in terms of what you get from me and what I'm referring to when I'm speaking on twin flames. There's a lot of confusion. There's a lot of doubt. There is a lot of hit pieces, if you will, out there in the collective. So for me to be as clear as I possibly can and who I am, what I do, what the downloads, where the downloads are coming from, the context of them, I was guided to make this message. And it's also in response to a lot of people at this time talking about twin flames and claiming that that's what they experienced, but it's not. So then what it does is people who are meant to meet their twin flame, that are on this path, this mission, this predestined path, they may use their free will choice to avert it, to not get onto their timeline because of the ego attachment to A, I don't want to look like an idiot or be stupid. B, I don't want to be excommunicated. I don't want people to think I'm a weirdo. All of that, right? There's so many different factors in that. Like somebody who knows they have a big mission and they can come and they can help and they can share twin flames, but because there's so much nonsense out there, they feel like, God, I could never do that. But we need their mission. We need their voice. And I don't know what the solution to this is, other than those of us who have been initiated and we know from our experience what the truth is on this topic, to share and counteract all of the noise, all of the criticism, all of the people that are saying they had a twin flame experience and they've met this person, they met that person, they were all their twin flames, and my twin flame was abusive, and my twin flame was a narcissist, and I learned so much and I'm so grateful, but man, I don't want to be with my twin flame. Or twin, the stories, your mom can be your twin flame, your dog can be your twin flame. No, okay? No. Ooh, thank you, Spirit. This is the last thing I want to say. The twin flames that I'm talking about are fractals of Yeshua and Mary Magdalene. Okay, on the earth plane. There are many twin flames throughout the cosmos. There are many that you're probably familiar with that are ascended masters, perhaps guides that you work with, and that's beautiful. But to better be really clear and differentiate who I'm addressing here, the divine feminines are fractals of Mary Magdalene. The divine masculines are fractals of Yeshua, Jesus. Okay, that is the line. And that's what's been shown to me very clearly. I've had many, many sessions with twins, and all of them have worked very closely with those two guides as their oversoul or a fractal of them in some capacity. That's the mission, right? And there's a lot of misinformation about Yeshua and Mary Magdalene as well. We are correcting that now. We are getting this second chance, this second opportunity. We are all coming here at this time to make amends for the mistakes we made at the fall of Atlantis. That is what is happening. That's what these twins are here to do. And it's why you volunteered to do this. Everybody else going through these relationship awakenings, initiations, difficulties, dark nights of the soul, that's beautiful, because what that is doing is that is the ripple effect of holding this vibration of true divine love, the one, the all, unifying. So of course it's happening in the collective. Of course you are going through similar initiations that twin flames are, right? The thing about the twin flame connection is you don't have to work hard at these spiritual principles. They just end up at your door. They happen in this connection. You don't have to go take this yoga class. You don't have to do this meditation. You don't have to go do ayahuasca in Peru. You don't have to go through these. You don't have to seek it. It finds you. And you recognize that you have these codes that spiritual masters have been working their entire lives to have. You have them on your own through this activation, through this initiation of the twin. And I can see that that might be the place that people get jealous and distrusting and don't believe that that's the case. But all we can be to the twins that are tuned in here listening is examples of that, embodiments of that, and show through our teachings, through our sharings, through our humble servitude to the collective, to us literally getting nothing out of what we're doing aside from ridicule at times, right? There's really no, to twins that share, like, I know people think that people share a lot or can make a lot of money on YouTube, but trust me, the twin flame, if you look at the hashtags, I think a friend told me there's like 7,000. That's so small in comparison. None of us are making money by sharing, right? So I don't want to discourage anybody who's getting the call to share, because spirit will always provide, right? You will always be taken care of as a child of the divine. But this is it. This is the message. It's complete. I thank you so much for listening. I am so grateful to be in this position, even though I did not choose it. I'm so grateful, the connections that I have made and the gifts that you give me by raising in your vibration, by manifesting all that you want, by becoming the high, powerful, divine priestess and priest that you are all meant to be. That is my gift. And I'm so grateful for that. Lots and lots of love. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Please share this. Please, circulate this message. I want people to hear and understand, because I feel like it's so important at this time with the amount of distortion. So thank you.